Let's get real. Life after 60 isn't all rocking chairs and retirement dreams. It's powerful, it's freeing, but it's also filled with some brutal truths that nobody warned us about. And if you're here, it means you're not afraid to hear them. Most people want to be comforted. You want clarity, because clarity is what gives you choice. And after 60, that choice matters more than ever. This video isn't here to sugarcoat. It's here to liberate you by shining a light on 5 truths that might sting a little, but will also help you stop waiting, stop apologizing, and start living with more purpose and peace than ever before. Because when you stop lying to yourself, even in small ways, your world starts to open up. You stop chasing things that don't fit. You stop wasting time trying to please people who don't see you. And most importantly, you start becoming yourself, unapologetically. So if you're ready for honesty, not to feel worse, but to live better, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's talk about the 5 brutal truths about life after 60 and why facing them is the most powerful thing you can do. Here's the first brutal truth about life after 60. Some people start disappearing. Friends stop calling, texts go unanswered, invitations dry up, and you're left wondering, did I do something wrong? The truth? Probably not. This is just part of the emotional landscape of aging. As we get older, our lives shift. People become more inward. They deal with their own aging, their own fears, their own losses, and sometimes that means they disappear quietly without explanation. It hurts, it feels personal, but often it isn't. What's really happening? Life is refining your circle. After 60, relationships stop being about quantity and start being about quality. The ones who remain are the ones who matter, and the ones who fade, that's okay too. Sometimes people leave because they can't handle watching others grow or age. Sometimes they ghost because they're scared of their own reflection in you. And sometimes they're simply not meant to go where you're headed next. This truth is your invitation to stop chasing people who wouldn't show up for you anyway. It's your reminder that loneliness doesn't come from being alone, it comes from being surrounded by people who don't see you. Let the fade-outs happen, don't resist them. Use that space to reconnect with yourself, to nurture the friendships that bring joy, not judgment, to go deeper with people who choose to be in your life. Because the ones who remain, they're your real ones. They're not just there for your birthday, they're there for your becoming. And that's more than enough. The second brutal truth, after 60, your body becomes a messenger. Atches, fatigue, and slower recovery aren't just signs of age, they're messages. Your body is talking to you, and the question is, are you listening? For years, we're taught to push through, hustle, ignore pain, numb it, deny it. But eventually, the body starts speaking louder because it wants partnership, not punishment. That knee pain? It's asking you to move differently. That fatigue? It's asking for rest, not caffeine. That tightness in your chest when you're around certain people. It's telling you something emotional, not just physical. This is where wisdom lives, not just in your mind, but in your flesh. Psychologists call this somatic awareness, the idea that your body holds memory, emotion, even trauma, and if you stop long enough to listen, it can guide you toward healing. You don't need to fight your body, you need to befriend it. After 60, your body stops trying to impress and starts trying to protect you from burnout, from stress, from overcommitting, from staying in environments that don't feel right. When something feels off, your body often knows before your brain does. That's not paranoia, that's instinct, and it's worth trusting. Start asking simple questions. What would make me feel good today? What does my body want less of? What does it want more of? That kind of listening builds a relationship, not a routine. So, the next time your body whispers or shouts, don't ignore it. Ask what it needs. Respond with care. This isn't about giving up, it's about tuning in. Because when you listen to your body, you stop living at war with yourself and start living with yourself. The third brutal truth? After 60, you stop being needed the same way. Your kids don't need you like they used to. Your career may no longer define your days. Even your social roles, the helper, the organizer, the provider, start to fade. And if you've spent decades serving others, this can hit hard. You might ask, where do I belong now? Or worse, do I still matter? Here's the truth, you absolutely do. But your value is no longer rooted in what you do for others. It's rooted in who you are, and that's an adjustment most of us never prepare for. Psychologists call this the purpose pivot. When our external roles shift, our internal identity has to evolve, or we start feeling irrelevant, invisible, even lost. But this isn't the end. It's the beginning of something far more personal, living for you. You don't have to be needed to be meaningful. You don't have to fix or manage or prove anything to be worthy of love, respect, or joy. Now is your time to reconnect with desire. What excites you? What have you always wanted to explore, create, or learn without having to justify it? Pick up the paintbrush, book the trip, write the story, start the garden, not because anyone needs it, but because you do. You're not here to fill gaps in everyone else's life. You're here to expand your own. After 60, purpose doesn't retire, it redefines. And sometimes losing old roles is how you finally find yourself. The fourth brutal truth: time speeds up, and so must your choices. You've probably felt it. Years used to feel long. Now they pass in a blink. One moment it's spring, the next you're taking down holiday decorations again. This isn't your imagination, it's psychology. As we age, our brain processes new experiences more slowly, so time feels faster, which means the longer you wait to make a change, the harder it becomes to even notice that you're waiting. That's the danger of postponing joy, of saying someday too often. We think we have time to finally prioritize our health, our dreams, and our relationships. But the truth, later isn't guaranteed, and waiting doesn't bring clarity, action does. And it doesn't have to be big action. Call the person you've been thinking about, cancel the commitment you've outgrown, say yes to something new, say no to something draining. Time is moving, and the only thing worse than aging is numbing your way through it. You've already spent enough of your life being careful. Now's the time to be intentional. Because after 60, every choice either expands your peace or drains it. Every delay either protects your comfort or steals your chance. Let time be your teacher, not your excuse. The clock isn't your enemy, it's your wake-up call. It's saying, what matters now? What are you still waiting for? Use that awareness to act, to live, to love, to risk, to rest, to begin. The future isn't waiting, so why should you? Here's the fifth brutal truth. Peace doesn't arrive on its own. You have to choose it, and sometimes that choice is hard. After 60, you'd think things would get quieter, and they can, but only if you're willing to let go of everything that makes noise inside your head. Let go of perfection, of needing to prove yourself, of clinging to the past or chasing approval in the present. Let go of roles you've outgrown and versions of yourself you no longer need to maintain. Peace isn't passive. It doesn't show up when life is perfect. It shows up when you start releasing what never really served you in the first place. It means learning to say, this is enough. To stop scrolling, stop comparing, stop apologizing. It means trading control for trust and pressure for presence. And it starts with a question: what could I let go of today just to feel a little lighter? You can't force peace, but you can create the space where it finally feels safe to land. Peace doesn't come from outside. It comes when you stop fighting yourself inside, and once you choose it, everything else begins to align. These truths might feel heavy, but they're also a gift. Because the more honest you are about what's real, the more freedom you have to choose what's next. You're not too late, you're not too broken, and you're definitely not done. You're just in a new chapter 1 that requires more clarity, more courage, and more you than ever before. So if this resonated, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth, not to feel worse, but to live better. And let me know in the comments, which truth hit you the hardest?